I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, April the 17th, brought to you in part by Performance Livestock Analytics. Their Performance Beef is an easy-to-use app, as easy to use as your cell phone, that tracks and stores your feeding, performance, and health records all in one place. For more information, go to performancelivestockanalytics.com. Cash feeder cattle cool, and we've been flying high here for basically since late last year, for sure, the beginning of this calendar year. But you know, the board has taken its toll with the bird flu and everything, which we kind of feel like is in the rearview mirror now. Your feedlots are full. We can acknowledge that, and now your average, your analyst guess for the cattle and feed report coming out this Friday is that your inventories are going to be 102% of a year ago. So your feedlots aren't really craving any cattle right now, and then they've lost their grip on the out fronts there to hedge those cattle or to buy LRPs. And even on your turnout cattle, your stockers, and you know, most of those orders are filled. A lot of those cattle are already turned out. They're not going to add to them. They've turned out all they can turn out, and they won't be back until next year. And we've got more new crop calves coming in to your stockers availability, and those new crop calves are just not as desirable as it's starting to heat up, and then they're going to get back into trying to straighten those calves out again. But it's going to come back. It's definitely going to come back. Give it a week or two, and there'll be some empty pens starting to pop up in your feedlots. They'll be coming back in hungry as ever, and we'll have some weekend warriors coming in for some grazing type calves when more of them become weaned, and then there's also some other bigger grazing areas that haven't been filled up yet. You know, up in the northern plains, they've got grazing areas up there that they haven't turned out on yet, and they'll still be buying calves for those. Foothills of the Rockies and places like that they don't turn out on as quick as they do your Osage and your Flint Hills and places like that. But we've got to get through this cattle on feed report that's coming up on Friday. It's a little bit scary. I was actually surprised to see the board up again for the second day in a row on Tuesday after it was up big on Monday. But because of that 88% on your marketings, because we've known that your packers slowing the chain speeds down has got our cattle backed up a little bit, our market ready cattle backed up a little bit. We weren't fully expecting that. We thought that they would have to be a little more aggressive than that on getting through these fat cattle, but boy, they're determined. I tell you what, when they get ready to shut things off, they can do it, and they've backed some cattle up here, and we've kind of got to get through those for a minute. But you know, it's just cooled off a little bit, and then whenever I give you some of these extreme tops at the end of the report, like I always do, you're going to say, well, that's just as high as they've ever been. Yeah, in places we're still selling feeders and bigger yearling stockers as high as we've ever been, but as a whole, your average is just down quite a bit. I haven't had the chance to tell you, but I'm going to tell you on this chance because it's a slow news day, and I want to tell you about my new favorite and the most beautiful feeder flash gang member that I've seen to date, and it was Jordan Gustafson that I met at Leonda Angus there at Travis Merrick's place on Saturday when I gave a talk there for his field day. And she brought her parents along. They came up from northern Arkansas, but just a great little girl there, and she likes to watch the feeder flash every day. It brings a smile to her face and calms her a little bit, and boy, I couldn't feel any better about that. But boy, what a great thing it was to meet Jordan there at that field day at Leonda Angus. I want to tell you that Sleepy Eye Livestock in Minnesota, it's a smaller sale barn there, but they're going to be broadcast on DVAuction for the first time here today on Wednesday. We just hooked them up, and we're glad to have them aboard. They're expecting to have a little over 100 head of feeder cattle, but maybe close to 150 head of fat cattle here today on Wednesday. We hope you guys enjoy watching their sale broadcast on DVAuction, and get a hold of them there, get approved, and you can bid on those cattle there at Sleepy Eye Livestock, and we're sure happy to have them aboard. If you've got a sale barn and you'd like to be broadcast on DVAuction, it's not as expensive as you would think. It opens you up to a lot of promotion, guys, and the local people like to watch those sales. A lot of people that are in the cattle business now, they have to have a job in town to support their cattle habit. Most of them can watch the sales either on their computer, on their desk, or on their phone, and they like to keep up with the sales. It's a lot of promotion, guys. Get a hold of us if you'd like to broadcast on DVAuction.com. Talk about your board on Tuesday. April live cattle futures were up $1.20 at 180, 150. June was up 190 at 175.72. Still a ton back from your spot contract there, but coming up quite a bit. Back months were all up big, up 127 to up $1.80. April feeder cattle were up 80 cents at 240.35. May was up 297 at 240.97, and your back months were all up big, from up 237 to 260. Might be an opportunity for you guys to get most of back of what you thought you lost. If you want to lock those cattle in, get a hold of your LRP agent there and call in and get a strike price there that you'll like. Let's talk about your grain. May corn was up 3/4 cent a bushel at 431 3/4. May beans are up 1 1/4 at 1146 1/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for May was down 1 1/4 cent at 586 1/4 cent a bushel. Fat cattle trade, no trade to speak of at all. Direct basis negotiated out of your 5-area feeding region. We're going to be steady to better. The board's already dictated that, and the guys gave up a little too much ground late last week, so they're going to get some of that back this week. Your packers know it. They're not going to tip their hand too much about how bad they need cattle, and we haven't seen any cattle sell. Of course, it's only early in the week here, but to find our market, we do have the biggest brick and mortar fat cattle auction. It's on DVAuction, guys, every week. Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. They had a lighter run, but still 1,200 head of fats in overnight, 1,600 head total. But some rain in the area kind of curbed receipts a little bit. Conventional fat cattle, steers and heifers, sold from 179 to 184. That was $2 to $3 lower, which was exactly what your direct market was last week. Your program cattle, non-implanted or drug-free cattle, sold from 183 to 187. That was $1 to $3 lower. Box beef cutout values run even, with choice down pretty big. Choice cuts were down 286 at 298.02. Selects were up $1.30 at 292.64, closing that choice select spread a little bit more. Slaughter through the first 2 days of the week, 245,000, which is not too far off the mark, just 1,000 less than last week, only 6,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Do not miss the third and last of 3 specials at Kingsville Livestock Auction of your Circle A dispersal, guys. This has been a closed Angus herd since 1991. They're getting out. The third and final of the specials there at Kingsville is going to be on Friday the 19th at 5 o'clock p.m. Probably the best offering that they've had of all 3 sales. They've got 108 breeding bulls, comes right from the Circle A herd guys there, and then 627 head of spring pairs. Where are you going to find that? Top quality, guys. And I mean, they've been screened, they've been cut through like a comb, guys. They've found any blemishes, anything that's wrong, they've cut those out. But they've got 100 head of 3-year-old spring pairs, 400 head of 4 to 6-year-old spring pairs, And they're offering them ups in groups that you can live with, guys. 127 head of 7-year-old to short and solid mouth spring pairs. They've got 324 head of fall bred heifers, quality that you can't find anywhere else, guys. And then another 225 head of fall pairs. 150 of those will be 3 to 6 years old. The other 75 will be short and solid mouth. For sure, those fall pairs are all going to be 3-1s. The calves are going to weigh over 400 pounds with 1 round of shots in them. All the calves on these pairs will be 1/8 Wagyu. That means they will grade, lights out. Don't miss the third and last of these sales, guys, on Friday the 19th at 5 o'clock p.m. It'll be on DVAuction.com if you can't get to Kingsville, Missouri. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Tuesday, based on an 800-pound cash auction steer up through your middle 12 states, was 241.73. That was down $1.40. And like I said, they're coming off of them a little bit all the time. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index was 241.36. I'm going to be going out later this week to Fallon, Nevada, to Nevada Livestock Marketing Special, feeder cattle special for this month. They're expecting around 2,000 head. They'll have some yearlings in there, but a lot of 4 and 5 weight long time wean stockers, guys. And you can't beat high altitude desert stockers, guys. You won't have much trouble with them. If you got a place you need to turn out on right away, even if it's at elevation, you can get some stockers right there that can handle it. I want to tell you about my friend Tucker Teague's sale. He's got 11,000 head of all northern origin graze out wheat cattle to sell. He's going to be starting to sell them the 1st of May. He always does a unique way of marketing those cattle. This time it's going to be the Western Trail sale, and he is going to be scattering cattle out at brick and mortar sale barns all through the West there, guys. And you can go to your favorite one, or you can go to all of them. You can get online and bid on them. But starting May the 1st, Cherokee livestock sales there. 1,100 head going to be at that sale there with my buddy Jared Herman. May the 2nd, he's going to have 1,100 head in Ogallala, Nebraska. Another 1,100 head in Pratt, Kansas at Winter Livestock. And another 800 head at Farmers and Ranchers in Salina, Kansas. Coming back the next week on May the 7th, he's going to have 800 head at North Platte, Nebraska at North Platte Stockyards. May the 8th, he's going to have another 1,150 in Cherokee Sales Company there in Cherokee, Oklahoma. Another 500 in El Reno at OKC West. And then on May the 9th, he's going to clean up most of the deal at Ogallala with 1,300 and Pratt, Kansas on 1,150. If you add all them up, he's still got 2,000 to sell. Those are in loose hands, guys. He's going to take them to the sale that likely does the best for him there. But good luck to my friend Tucker Teague. I admire him for taking those cattle at auction and letting True Price Discovery find what those cattle are worth. Let's talk about your big sales on Tuesday. Ozarks Regional Livestock, Ozarks Regional Stockyard in West Plains, Missouri. That's a place to find a trend on a Tuesday. They had 1,900 through the ring, another 1,200 head that they do with their in-house video auction that they do with help from DV Auction. Steve Anderson is doing an outstanding job with that in-house video there, and he has big runs, not 1 or 2 loads, big runs of video cattle coming through West Plains, Missouri every single week, guys, and they ship right from their farm. But the calves that went through the ring on Tuesday in West Plains sold steady to $4 lower, spots as much as $8 lower, but still a pretty snappy sale there. Another sale on Tuesday that we usually look at, how about Denny Rezac Livestock Commission in St. Mary's, Kansas. Just look at the loads of cattle. They feature loads of cattle in St. Mary's, and they've got the buyers there to buy them. Look at these load lots of 850 to 975 pound steers. They bring from 214.5, which was the heaviest bunch, all the way up to 237.75, and that's some cattle weighing deep in the eights, guys. Pretty good sale there at Rezac Livestock Commission. How about north central Missouri, up in the Green Hills there at Unionville Livestock Market, Unionville, Missouri. Of course, they regularly get the Smoking R cattle, previously known as the Rockin' R cattle, but the way that they background them there, where they just grow the cattle, leave the good in them, and the buyers have bought enough of those and fed them, sent them to their customers. They know how good they feed, and they come after them, guys. But those Smoking R cattle at Unionville, they had 2 loads of steers in there. They averaged 921 pounds with an average price, or they both loads brought $238.75. Individual quotes. How about North Platte Stockyards in North Platte, Nebraska? They sell 68 steers, weighed 609 at $332.50, and you said that's as high as they've ever been. I realize that, but on the average they're down a little bit. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday in your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day, come out of Huron, South Dakota at Huron Continental Marketing. It was 71 steers, weighed 859, and bring $262.75. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.